Welcome to the channel. My name is Matthias. Today we're going to talk about Uncanny X-Men issue 304, part of the Fatal Attractions crossover. Here we have the X-Men dealing with the death of Illyana Rasputin, who died of the legacy virus. And basically it's a very sad issue that revolves around the funeral and a arrival to the funeral that wants to pay his respects, but it's going to ruffle some feathers to a lot of people present who had history with the New Mutants. He was their headmaster and watched over them during the 80s. So obviously he was going to arrive to pay his respects, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, there's a lot to unpack in this story, and I do have to say that there's one big issue that I have with this particular story is that it has quite a few artists on it, and I find it to be a little bit jarring in the storytelling. The quality to one artist to another varies a lot, even though I do have to say that John Romita Jr.'s work here is freaking top notch. Now, one big takeaway from this overall crossover is that the conflict between Xavier and Magneto goes past this breaking point. It's very tragic because both of these characters have a great deal of respect for each other, but their worldviews just have pushed them in very different directions. We have a very broken Xavier. He has been through a lot and many failures during this particular time. In a way, he's sort of losing faith, and he's having to deal with Magneto, who's making his return to the world and just being a menace to his overall dream. After this initial focus on Xavier, the story puts its spotlight obviously on Colossus, who was the big brother to Illyana Rasputin. Now, obviously, he's devastated with the death of his sister, but for some reason, he puts the blame on Xavier and his dream. Even though she died of a sickness, which was the legacy virus, which was not in the control of Xavier, he couldn't do anything about it. Moira McTaggart and Beast were putting a ton of effort in trying to find a cure, but it was ravaging through the mutant community. Now, before we get to the funeral service itself, I do have to mention one thing about Bishop. He is very much a fish out of water in every situation, and the guy is just way too hardcore all the time. He's just too 90s. And he's having this conversation with Banshee where he just doesn't understand the need for a funeral service. He thinks that it's pretty much just a waste of time. So then the story jumps to the funeral service itself, and we have all the X teams there. When we have Magneto arrive with all of his acolytes, and obviously things get out of hand very quickly. It's the first time as a reader that I encountered Magneto doing that iron in your blood trick where no one can move. I thought it was so cool, but the thing is that when he does this to Bishop just starts absorbing all his power. And he has this pretty gnarly blast against Magneto. So we get this super 90s battle, but what happens and what is interesting is that we have Bishop taking down Magneto when he gets knocked out from behind by Colossus. He's just tired of Xavier's BS. He actually decides he is just sick and tired of Xavier's BS. He actually decides to join Magneto and go to Avalon, this mutant refuge that he had created with the remnants of Cable's ship, the Grey Malikan. Very reminiscent of Asteroid M. The thing is that when Magneto decides to leave, he gets confronted by Xavier, where we have Charles begging Magneto. It's actually heartbreaking to see these panels, that they can work together, that the dream is still alive and well, that he doesn't have to take this more aggressive approach towards humanity. This actually really elevates the stakes to the story in general, and Magneto is going to be pretty hardcore towards anyone that goes to Avalon. First with Cable, he almost kills him, and then with Wolverine when he rips out his adamantium skeleton. Fatal Attractions shakes up the status quo for the X-Men side of the Marvel Universe. The repercussions from the story are going to be felt for quite a few years after it. But I'm going to leave this video here. I hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time. Bye.